What's up guys, welcome to the channel. If this is your first video, welcome. And I guess hit that subscribe button. If you're already subscribed and you're joining again, thanks, you're awesome. So I actually watched a video yesterday or the day before about a Mercedes Benz 190e, and it spiked my motivation again to start working on this thing, or at least get it looking a little better than it is now. If you didn't see the last video I made about this, which was like 2 videos ago or something like that, go back, check that one out. It's like everything wrong with this car. But we're gonna start kicking it off, I think, getting this fixed up a little bit better. So then I'm more excited to just do this whole donor car thing and do an engine swap. Now I'm not sure how much of the work that I'm gonna do today I'm actually gonna film, because I just wanna it's kind of repetitive. I do have videos on mounting the wing, the rear fender flares, the rear bumper, but what I think I'm gonna do today is remount the rear bumper in a different method than I originally did. So I guess this is a second mounting the rear bumper video. Not sure how it's gonna come out, so we're just gonna send it and we're just gonna start working. But let me show you what I'm gonna use to remount this bumper. So while I'm talking, I'm gonna overlay some footage that I hopefully remember to take in a little bit when I start removing this bumper. But the way I have the bumper mounted, I have the well nuts and the little bolt holding it onto a bracket that I fabricated. Well, I guess didn't really fabricate it. I bought this little angle piece from Home Depot, cut it up, mounted it to the car, and then I used the holes that are already there to mount the bumper to that. What I think I'm gonna do now is take everything off and then use these things. So these are just like quick disconnects for like a bumper or whatever, like a quick latch. So what it is, so this is the piece that's gonna mount into the bumper, so it's actually gonna be a lot more sleek looking than the pieces that I have there now. I mean, if I cover it up with the fender flare, it'll be more sleek, but I don't wanna have to remove the fender flare to remove the bumper if that time ever comes. So this piece, it's actually a quick disconnect. Looks like that, very sleek. And this is the part that mounts to the car, which is that. And then you just basically mount this to the bumper, mount this somewhere on the car, and then you just snap it in. And that's it. And when you want to disconnect it, you just press this button in the middle. Done. So it's gonna be a little more, I guess, race car and a little easier to service, which I'm not planning on ever having to service, but you know, shit happens. But let's get cracking with taking the stuff apart. I gotta take a bunch of stuff out of the trunk to get to the side pieces, to get the fender flares off, and then we're gonna go from there. So I'm not sure, I have music on in the background, so I'm talking very loud. I'm not sure exactly where I want to do it, so I might just send it with the hole and figure it out from there. So running into a little issue, well, at least I'm thinking of it ahead of time. So if I put these things, I'm considering putting one like here. And if I do that, the back bumper is just gonna be sitting in no man's land if I don't support it in the rear also. You see that's happening. So the 2 mounting points here is actually pretty sturdy. And the way I had the little bracket at the bottom, it was actually holding this whole thing in pretty firmly. But I think if I just put one of those clips there, it's not gonna be very strong. So what I'm thinking, I might try to do this first because I'm not sure this bracket is steel or not. I might try to, I was considering welding it actually, welding a piece of steel onto it. So then I could actually put one of these on each side on the rear, and this will hold the back end up. And then all I'll need is one over here to hold the other end up. And I think that would be I think that will hold it on there pretty firm. Trying to think of any issues ahead of time so I don't run into problems trying to do that. I don't know. put the brackets back on to hold the bumper because I wanted to actually locate the bumper where it had to be before I attempted to drill any holes. But I think I'm gonna take this back off and start looking at that rear bash bar to see if I can mount something to it to get these pieces on. Because I think it'll be cool, it'll be a nice addition, it'll make it look cleaner than this, especially that you could see these with the little fender flare things on. So I guess I'm gonna take this back off and start looking at it. I think it's aluminum, which is not good, which I guess I could just drill new holes and make those things into a bracket by welding it. I just want to weld something. This is the piece of angle iron that I have, which I should go and get more random pieces of scrap to work with, but what I'm thinking of, I'm probably just gonna cut a little sliver off of this, and then I might cut another piece and make, well, I gotta cut it flat that way to make like a piece of flat stock, so then I could weld the bracket, weld the little piece on there, and then have a little piece coming off so we have a little bit more support. Thank God for flapper discs. So I cleaned them up a little bit. They're not the greatest, but they're not horrible at the same time. I guess it serves a purpose considering it's going to be hidden behind the bumper, and it was like my third time ever welding something. But I'm going to figure out a spot to put them here. I guess I'm going to place the bumper back on to kind of get a ballpark assessment here. I don't have a strong enough magnet. Hold on. I don't know why it only dawned on me now to do it, is take a magnet and place it here. Yeah. So, new game plan, which I think is gonna work here because there's already holes over here. I'm gonna take this little crash beam off just to get behind it because there's holes here already. So I'm gonna drill a hole in those brackets I just made, bolt it into here. Then we're gonna put this bumper back on and try to locate kind of where it's gonna be. Then we could get to drilling holes for these quick disconnect latch things. So as you see, these welds are not the greatest. This machine, I kind of went by the recommended settings they wanted here and didn't seem to work. I had to crank it all the way up. The other side, we got some better penetration, but as you see, flapper disc makes a world of difference. Now this one looks like this because the other one is almost fully the full width. When I cut it, I actually slit down right here on the angle piece, so one end is wider than the other, but not the end of the world, you're not gonna see it. If you're taking this bash beam off, if you're following along, trying to do this yourself, if you're taking the crash beam off, make sure you hold it in with your knee, because when you take that last bolt out, the whole thing's gonna fall out and possibly crush your foot, because I almost did that. It just missed my foot once. All right, so we got this, got the bumper back on, and we're gonna deal with these pieces now. So I realize now that this definitely needed to have two holes to be larger, because there's a chance that this could rotate. But if that happens in the future, we'll be on the quick disconnect system now, that I could take that off and make a new bracket, or I could just take a piece of metal from there to there and just tack weld it in place, and then there shouldn't be any rotation. But here comes the fun of putting this bumper back on. We're gonna deal with getting the back ones on first, so we could locate it up and down, I think. Then we're gonna do the sides. Just gonna start messing around, and then maybe I'll explain it afterwards if I figure something out, but we'll be right back. I actually just thought of a trick that I think I learned recently. So I'm not sure if this is gonna work out perfectly because of the angles and stuff, but I did learn this trick not too long ago, that take a piece of cardboard, I actually have tape down here, so flip your cardboard down onto it, make your hole, then just tape it up out of the way. Then when we put the bumper on, we're just gonna flip this down, and that should give us the exact spot where that is. Back on. I'd say it's pretty successful. Look right there, see it there, and then this one is ever so slightly a little high. Not too bad. So what I'm going to do is just enlarge these to the size that those clips, those snap clip things have to be. Then we'll start messing with adjusting the height wise, and then we just got to do the sides, and then we're done. I'm hyped. So this came out pretty damn good. The rear bumper, the ones on the back, they blend in. They're not horrible. I mean, I would prefer not to have that, but it's pretty solid. This whole thing is on there pretty damn good. And once we finally get this painted, it'll be gloss black and they'll blend in even more. Obviously, I gotta fix this crack here, which will be in the coming videos, but if you look at that right there, and it's on. I actually closed the video out and then realized I forgot to even talk about these things and how to kind of mess with them, so inserting this in now. So the back ones, obviously you saw how we did it with that little trick with the piece of cardboard. The side ones, I actually just went off a mark that I had already, the holes that were the mount that I had there already. I just kind of went straight down from it and took a piece, and I actually just took a drill bit and just drilled straight through because it worked out that way. So what you're going to want to do is this bumper is going to have to come on and off a bunch of times. So make sure you know that in your head. And at least these side ones, you can actually reach in the trunk and the side to tighten it and adjust it if you need to. But these back ones specifically, you're going to have to take the bumper on and off to adjust it because that whole thing's threaded, so you're going to have to raise it or lower it depending on where you need it to snap into the thing. So let me know down in the comments what you think. I think this came out pretty damn awesome. I think the next video on the 190E is going to be actually sealing these up. I don't know if I left myself enough material here, but we'll figure it out. But I'm going to have to bend that up and weld it. That's going to be one of the next things before we get to remounting all the other stuff and starting on body work, because that definitely needs to be done and it'll look a lot better. As usual, if you want to buy these things, I'm going to leave an Amazon link down in the description. If you want to buy those, use that link, please. It helps the channel out. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of this stuff. I'm going to be doing this body kit a little more official than I originally started because I was just kind of slapping things on, and now at this point, after doing this, I got a little more excited. I mean, I don't have to wait for this to be done to do the whole engine swap thing that I'm planning on or that I want to do, but getting this out of the way, this stuff is somewhat free for me right now, and I don't have to spend money buying another vehicle as a donor to swap into this car. And as always, if you made it this far, this is the Duraflex kit. Don't buy this kit, it's horrible. So I'm gonna leave it there. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. I think I tried to film it a little bit differently than I normally film some videos, so hopefully you were entertained by that. Leave some comments down below if you like the way this looks or if you like the way this video was filmed, so I could judge by that to know if I should continue doing that stuff, because it takes a little more effort, to be honest, but I don't mind it. Hit that like button, make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any more content on this car. If you want to buy any products, use the links down below, because it helps the channel out. See you guys in the next one. Peace.